I'm back again to not amend, I haven't changed my mind on anything, but just to add to what was said yesterday by yours truly about the moon swatch. I want to clear up a couple of things for all of you guys saying I'm a snob. Oh yeah, totally. Me? Yeah. I don't think it's snobbery to get yourself a beautiful watch. Those people who have and appreciate great watches are setting themselves apart and doing a beautiful thing. By doing so, there's no harm in appreciating beauty, the finer things. It sets us apart as a species, I think. The chase for the divine. You know, it's one of the things we do. We cover ourselves up. No other animal does that. Cover our private parts. We get artistic about clothing. You ever put on a shirt that makes you look better? Your wife says, "Oh my God, that makes you look so slim, honey," or anything like that. Are you being a snob right then? What's wrong with your natural shape? Not good enough for you? Well, no. There's improvements in all walks of life. But me, personally, am I a snob? Absolutely. I'm worse. Jesus, don't insult snobs. They're much nicer than me. At least snobs believe in humanity. I'm like, yeah, we're a virus with shoes, guys. Speaking of the masses, we're back to normal here practically in Venice. Great for business and all, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I'm gonna miss my, I guess, almost 2 years here when I had the city practically to myself. Just go back through my videos. It's been like living on a film set, an empty film set. But okay. At least the cafes get to open and people get to work again. That's great. So the moon swatch, I won't talk about it unless something else crazy happens. I'm not going to keep talking about this, but while it's a hot subject, let's beat it out a little bit. It's amazing the cop siren on the boats here is the same as the ambulance siren or the cop siren on a car in other cities. We don't have cars here. Haven't seen a car in a while. So, the moon swatch. Oh yeah, another thing I have to clear up. I like the moon swatch. I made that clear, I think, in the video. I said I'd buy one. I'd buy more than one. Over time, I'll probably buy them all. Why not? As they become more available. I think it's a great idea for a swatch. I think it's a great idea anyway, like make all the planets. That's so cool. We all have our favorite planet, right? Mine's Jupiter. What's yours? And in many ways, what they've done is more exciting than what Omega do. Omega don't have a dedicated to every planet thing. And that's when an idea came to mind, because I think this is absolutely devastating for Omega. Omega, not only have they cheapened their image really badly, but they've put themselves in a situation where people are going to wonder why on earth they would spend $7,000 on a real one, on a real Speedy. Why do that when you can get a really cute Speedy in whatever color you want for way less? Like not half, not a quarter, not even a tenth, less than 5% of the price. If you're thinking about buying a Speedy right now, you could take half the money that you spend on that Speedy and buy the entire Swatch Speedy collection and wear a different one every day of the week. Almost 2 weeks, if you like. I actually recommend that you do that. I mean, they have the Speedy look. They are authorized by Omega to use that look, and you know, their name, the Omega name, is on the dial. Clearly, it ain't a Speedy. We went over that. There's a guy on I think it was on TikTok. He pulls up in his Lamborghini, you know, and he gets out and opens up the hood at the back, and you just see all this bicycle stuff on the inside. It's just a bike. He made a big frame, Lamborghini frame, but inside, while he's sitting down, he's pedaling a bike. So it's like, looks like a Lamborghini, but it ain't. And that kind of reminds me of this. Mind you, here are the things that the Moon Swatch has over the actual Speedy. Isn't it a shame about this stuff? I mean, I know they have to clean the place and they have to do all that, but it just ruins such a perfect place. I'm in the piazza, by the way. This is the most beautiful piazza on earth. Prove me wrong. This is Piazza San Marco, and there's the bell tower. I hear that every night at midnight, kind of a low dung dung. My hair's all dry today. I'll stop using that shampoo I got. Go back to the old one. The Moon Swatch has a few things. One, super cheap. Who can argue with cheap? The proof is in the pudding. Yesterday you saw that. Once you make something cheap, that people will come. There's nothing that makes something more sellable than a price. You know, the price being low brings the masses. It just does, for obvious reasons. I remember years ago I was in Leitrim in Ireland in a pub that was just uber packed till all hours. I was in a beer drinking competition, actually. It was hilarious. But it was so random. There were people standing on the tables and they had no intention of leaving. And the bartenders were just like, we're done for the night. It's already 3 a.m. Get the hell out of here, everyone. But no one was moving. So your man who owns the place got on the microphone. He goes, free burgers down the street at the chipper. They're giving out free burgers with every bag of chips that you buy. Free burgers down it. And it was a chipper at the other end. It was one of these little Leitrim towns. The chipper at the other end of the street, you know, 500 yards down the street. Everybody ran out of the place. He locked the doors. Of course, there was no free burgers. The chipper wasn't even open. It was closed. But it got everybody out. That's all I could think of yesterday, looking at those mobs in London. Free burgers, free burgers. But there's that. You can buy yourself 30 of these things, 20 at least, for the same price as a real Speedy. The next thing, what was it? Oh yeah, it's quartz, and therefore it's more accurate. It's gonna hold time better than a real one. That's one of the, paradoxes, one of the contradictions of the watch game, is that we love these mechanical watches. By the way, what am I wearing? I'm wearing the root beer, Rolex GMT root beer, on a Sunday afternoon in Venezia. This is the Florian behind me, the oldest cafe in the world. And maybe the most beautiful. And it costs more, and it's a privilege to sit there, and the service, the table service, is incredible, and the standard of the coffee and everything is super high. But I'm just being a snob, right? You're a snob. Yeah, you fucking bet your ass I am. So, I'll come back to the snob thing in a minute, by the way, because there's more to be said about that. It's more accurate, the quartz speedy. So, if I have a real speedy on, and I were so inclined, and I'm not, but I were to make fun of somebody's Swatchity, or whatever the hell you would call it, moon swatch. Be respectful, O'Malley. It's a moon swatch. I would never make fun of anybody's watch. It's ridiculous. That's, by the way, not what a snob would do either. That's just an asshole. People mix those words up a lot. But if I were so inclined, imagine they could always come back and say, well, at least mine doesn't need to be reset. And at least mine doesn't gain time or lose time, 2 seconds a day or whatever a speedy does. In fact, speedies can quite often lose more than that. Maybe not the new ones, the coaxial ones, but certainly the older ones. They can be like within 10 seconds a day, even if they're running nicely. So, so does that. And then, of course, there's the thing about it being, you know, all these color options. You know, you can say, hey, I'm going to wear, it's a lovely sunny day, I'm going to wear my sunny one, my yellow one, or my pink one, or my bright blue, Tiffany, whatever they're calling it. If you lose it, or you break it, or you accidentally do jump in the pool and destroy it on the inside, you've only lost $250. That doesn't mean much right now because they're so hard to get. They're kind of worth a lot. But within a few weeks, that's going to dissipate. So there's a lot to be said for these things. I quite like them. I'm kind of a fan. I don't think it's very good for Omega. It's amazing for Swatch. Amazing. How is Omega going to get out of this? I don't think they're selling any speedies. I'm tempted to go around to Omega right now, it's around the corner, and say, have you sold any real speedies yet today with all these people in town? I doubt they've even sold one. Because why on earth would you? When there's buzz about a different speedy that's a tiny fraction of the price, and gives you all these color choices that are all fun. I think the sale of real speedies is going to plummet over the coming months. Because you can have a speedy, or what looks like a speedy, and is apparently lighter. I've seen some reviews. Lighter makes sense. It's bioceramic, plastic, whatever the fancy name you want to put on whatever sort of plastic it is. I love that, bioceramic. It's like, okay, all right. You know, I'm a visual technician. Oh, really? You're a window cleaner? Okay, got it. So, I think they're not going to sell any speedies. If they do, it'll just be to the absolute diehard purists. Or maybe they'll sell a gold one to some guy who just wants a gold one. But I think there are far fewer people saving up for a speedy now. They could get 4 or 5 of the other ones, mix it up, wear a different one every day, and spend way less money. Pains me to say it, I adore the speedy. But I do think that this could be the end of the speedy in many ways. Could be. How could they crawl out of this? Well, I thought of an idea. Someone was mentioning how my voice goes from squeaky and pointy to low, because when I'm on the channel, it's, you know, and I'm doing my narration, it's all this is my projecting voice because I'm outdoors. It's a little pointier. Not as cool, but whatever. I think Omega could do this. they could put out the real version. What about that? They could put out the same thing, a series of planets. Omega Speedmaster, the planets. They could even have Gustav Holst music on the commercial, like I used in the recent Zero S video. Music plagiarized by John Williams a lot. They could do that and have real versions, a real Speedmaster, and do all those colors and do it high class. You know, we can get those subdials back to the correct position again for crying out loud. Because they look really high on the Swatch ED. They could make it, real. They could use the Hesselite, or they could go for sapphire crystal. They could really make something amazing, so that once again, people who love the Speedmaster and the engineering and the history and they want a real movement on the inside can buy that one. I think that could be one way of Omega going, well, that was fun. That was fun in games playing with you guys. You guys are nice, but you know what? We're gonna head out again, okay? So, bye. Because right now, Omega they've really dirtied their bib. A lot of people saying, oh, this is marketing genius, and everybody says it's the biggest release of the year. I always find that to be an odd point. Whether you like it or not, you can't deny it's the biggest. Okay. Next time there's a mass shooting on the news, like some crazy guy goes into a temple or something, shoots everybody up, I'm gonna go, well, you may hate it, but it's the biggest news of the week. So what? Who gives a fuck how popular it is? There's lots of lovely people here today enjoying their Sunday, but if some asshole decides to pull out a gun and the cops here shoot him, that'll be the biggest thing about this Sunday. Should he be proud as he lies there dying, going, oh well, at least everybody's going to talk about me? No, that's not a thing to brag about, guys. The moon swatch isn't the biggest news of the week, or maybe of the year. Who knows? We'll see. In the watch world, because it's an incredible watch. It's being talked about because it's super fucking cheap, and all of a sudden everybody thinks they can get their hands on a Speedy. Every Tom, Dick and Harry is going to have what they think is a Speedy in a few months. They'll be everywhere. Everyone will have a Speedy. And it's like that line in The Untouchables, or no, not The Incredibles. You know, the Pixar thing, The Incredibles. The villain says he wants to make everybody a superhero, because he says when everyone's a superhero, no one will be. Such a clever line. So I think Omega could do that and maybe save face. Illustrate to the world why anyone should spend any more than $250. Spend $7,000 or whatever they cost. Remind everyone the difference between a piece of garbage and fine timepieces. One guy was saying that he was on the line, he got his mission to Mars, which is probably one of the hotter ones, because it looks like the Alaska project, and it's so obviously a swatchy looking thing. And he put it on outside the store, and he just felt like, oh, this is a piece of crap, this is a piece of garbage. What have I done? He left it in the comments, you can go find it on the other video. And he said he saw an older couple who were waiting in line to buy one for their son. And he went up to them and said, hey, let's walk over there. I'll give you mine. I'll sell you mine. I think he made a little profit on it. Fair enough. He waited all night, so nothing wrong with that. And at least they went home with the watch, which it was unlikely that would have happened for them. So that's nice. I gave him a thumbs up for that, because that was a nice gesture. And I feel for all the people who waited for so long and couldn't get it, because it's just full of flippers. I'm not really against the flippers. They're an ugly crowd, but it's like they want to make money. Okay, I get it, you know. They see an opportunity for a profit. Am I going to stand next to them in a line, desperate for the hot watch? No, I'll go home and put on my AP Royal Oak. Thanks very much. Just to finish up on the snobbery thing, something goes around the watch world a lot. I get accused of being a snob a lot, because I am, and it shows. But remember this, guys. Snob or snobbery is a word that was invented by people who don't understand. People who look at a person who understands. Let me expound on that. It's an interval between people. So let's say you went into the Swatch store to buy a $250 Swatch, which is a lot of money for a Swatch. It's an expensive Swatch. Normally you can get one for 40, 50 bucks, 100 bucks. So let's say you went in with your girlfriend. She doesn't know the first thing about the Speedmaster or anything. And you went, I want that one. She goes, honey, that's 250 bucks. What the hell? Just get this one's a perfectly good watch. Look, it's 50 bucks. Just get that one. We'll go to dinner with the 200. Or it'll pay for our hotel for the evening. And you say, no, but this is a Speedmaster. This is like, it's based on the moon watch and everything. And she goes, so what? What are you, a watch snob? Just get the $50 one. Now you're the snob. Because you know about the differences. Snobs appreciate fine things. They appreciate detail. I get accused of being a wine snob all the time. I'm at a party and somebody hands me a glass of wine. I sniff it and I go, okay, it's $2 chuck. I'm not going to drink. It's going to give me a headache. No thanks. And people go, oh, what are you, a wine snob? And I'm like, please tell me I'm a wine snob, because you're complimenting me. You're telling me, do you know more about wine? Do you understand wine? Yes, I do. It's one of the fine arts. Viticulture is one of the fine things in the world. It's a beautiful meeting between Mother Nature and man. And it's something to be celebrated. And it's a wonderful, rich, deep world. Am I going to just forget all of that so you don't feel compromised in your insecurity, to make you feel better about that shit that you just handed me in a glass? No, I'll just quietly put it down. Now, some people think a snob is a person who judges the other person. So they go, ugh, look at the crappy wine he has. Meh, he's lesser than me. Or look at the shitty watch he has. No, that's just an asshole. That's what that is. And they happen in both directions, by the way. Oh, look at that guy. He needs his $100 bottle of wine. Look at that guy. He needs his real Speedmaster. Rich fucker. It's happening in both directions. Actually, it happens in that direction more often, I think. Much more often. A snob is a word made for a person who you don't understand. It scares people, you know? You go, oh, I'm not sitting at that restaurant because it's not, the food isn't high quality, and people go, well, I don't understand what the difference is between that and that. So rather than go, shit, maybe I can learn something from this person, they just go, they feel insecure and go, shit, am I ignorant? Am I a vulgarian? No, I don't want to think that. Instead, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to attack that person and go, you're a snob. So they don't really use the word correctly. Surprise, surprise. When you appreciate fine things, think of the watches. You guys are all watch fans. And your kids going mad. You guys are all watch fans, right? You appreciate good watches. You know how many of these people here would have any clue what you're talking about? They pass the store with the fashion watches, with the Maserati watches and the, you know, what are the fashion brands, the big ones, the silly brands, you know? Imagine they stopped at the window and went, oh look, you know a lot about watches, look at these watches. And you went, oh, no, please. You know, let's stop at the Rolex store or the Omega store or Gigli Couture or something else. What do you think is the next thing you're going to hear out of that person? Oh, you're such a snob. No, you just understand horology and fine watches. But if they want to call you a snob, let them. It's bigger reflection on them than it is on you. Anyway, guys, the other channels are saying it, and I may as well repeat it. Don't pay over list unless you really are desperate. Jody got one on Just One More Watch because he's a watch channel. And as it happens, he covers watches that are in the budget sector anyway, so it's totally up his street. So it made sense for him to pay extra. He did. He wouldn't say how much, but I'm guessing he paid twice or three times the price at least, maybe more. But I don't think you guys should. You're free to do whatever the hell you want. But soon enough, they're going to be all over the place. Everyone will have one. And for that reason, you won't really want it anymore. Or you'll want it less. Right now, if I see someone pass me, I'm going to be like, wow, you got one. Did you stand on the line? Wow, show me it. Give me a look. Are you happy with it? And they'll have that thrilling moment. But in 6 months' time or 3 months' time, every shithead is going to have one of these things. And by then, no one will give a fuck anymore, right? So you'll wind up being the person who paid $1,000 for it or more, and everyone else paid $250. You really want to be that guy? Go ahead. I'll give you one last look at the piazza. The piano player over there at the Florian, where all the snobs are. I love poking and prodding the snob haters. They're just so mad at the world. Meanwhile, I come from a working class family, struggled my whole life, yada yada, never had a handout from anyone. And then I decided at one point, I like fine things. I like a fine whiskey, a fine cigar, a fine glass of wine. I appreciate beautiful clothing and style, history, architecture. Yeah. Beautiful timepieces. Anyway, back to normal content, guys. I'm doing an unboxing, one of my classic unboxings, and I'm opening a bottle of wine while I'm at it and everything. I filmed it last night, so I'll edit it tonight, do some extra macro shots and stuff. Also going to reveal to you a very interesting micro brand from Northern Ireland, from Belfast. So watch out for that. And if you were lucky enough to get one of these moon swatches yesterday, enjoy it. Enjoy today, because today is the peak moment to own one, because they're still a rarity. As time goes on, that will dissipate. But enjoy your moment, guys.